Alright, so here we are at the Undead Parish. We're going to be taking the shortcut back down to the Firelink Shrine. The next step that we're going to be taking over here, we're going to be heading back to the Undead BURG. But before we do that, we're going to be looking at a couple of things that are in the Firelink Shrine. The first thing is that you might remember from the Undead Parish we found a Firekeeper soul. You gotta give that to the Firekeeper that's at the Firelink Shrine. And what that's going to do, that's going to upgrade your Estus flask so that you'll be able to heal more with each flask, and that'll make life a little bit more easier for you.
Oh my... Oh, I have to await my... So what if I were to would that... Very well. That is a shame. Speak...
Hello, I have your reward. Please, accept it.
So the Sunlight Medal that you have here, it's used for the Sunlight Warrior Covenant. Depending on how many medals you give to that covenant, you'll be able to get special miracles for it. The miracles are really cool lightning spears. In my opinion, they're not very useful. Like, they're mostly just there for looking cool, or if you have a faith build and you want to fight against dragon types. Like, it's good for those reasons, but I'd find sorceries to be a little bit more useful because they're faster, and I think they also do a little bit more damage as well.
Wait, was it you? You never give up, do you? I don't know how you do it. Well, don't stop now. Only one more. But it's going to be suicide.
So by now you should be already familiar with getting back to the Undead BURG, so it's really easy stuff, so we're just going to skip ahead. Here is the tower right before fighting against the Capra Demon. And in another video I've already covered fighting against Hovel the Rock so that we can get that useful Hovel's Ring. So you run across the boss stage over here, you don't need to stop for anything. As you continue on ahead, you're going to be finding another door that can be unlocked with a basement key. And that'll take us to another part of the Undead BURG that we haven't seen before. So yeah, you open this door and then you have to climb down a really long ladder, but it's not a big deal at all, as long as you're patient. So you're gonna go up these stairs and you'll find a shortcut from the this stage to the earliest part of the stage, which was where you had to fight against those 3 undeads, and you'll be able to find the bonfire. If you're already running low on Estus flasks, then you can just head over here. Now you're going to be finding some new enemies in this part of the stage. You'll be finding these really annoying dogs. They're not really damage dealing, they're just really annoying, and they're always put together with some really dangerous people. Like, there are going to be some thieves being introduced in this part of the stage as well. Also, they do have an annoying tendency to dodge, so it's best to hit them hard when you can. It is possible to actually buffer an attack by pressing the attack button right after the attack hits your shield. That won't guarantee you a hit, but it's better than nothing. So you're gonna find another NPC here. In order to get him out, you're gonna have to use that residence key that we bought from the undead merchant. And it's dangerous to try to break down barrels using your weapons because you might accidentally hit him, and that'll prevent you from any sort of interaction with him. So the best thing to do is just continue rolling around.
Thanks to you,
Yeah, you're gonna find also a Sorcerer's Catalyst as well as some Sorcerer's outfits. If you already started the game as a Sorcerer, it's not really something you need to bother with. But if you're interested in using sorceries, then you're gonna need a Catalyst, and the one that you got here is for free. So if you want to use that, then feel free if you want to play like that. You'll be able to meet this guy again at the Firelink Shrine. He'll be able to sell you some sorceries a little bit later on, but for now, you just have to continue on your way. Now, as you can see, I actually made quite a bit of mistakes in fighting against these enemies. This is actually a really dangerous part of the stage because you're going to be facing some people that will actually be able to parry your attacks. And unlike the Boulder Knights that we were fighting against earlier, these guys actually use their parries to great and very frustrating effect. And also, if you are right in front of them and they're directly behind you, then they'll actually be able to backstab you. And of course, if you try to fall back, they'll throw knives at you. These guys are really annoying to deal with. If you're good at parrying, then you might want to use that against them. But if you see them going into parry mode, if you're a sorcerer or a pyromancer, then use your spells on them. But if not, well, if you want, you can try wasting a firebomb on them, or you can just try to find some way to wait for them to drop their guard. So yeah, they always come in threes, and there are those annoying dogs that you'll have to deal with as well as them. But yeah, you know, as with the rest of the game though, practice makes perfect when fighting these guys. If you're fighting these guys for the first time, it might take you several tries until you get the hang of fighting these guys with losing as little health as possible. But you'll have to deal with one last dog over here. And there are a few drops that you can find for the the Thief starter class. But now that the path is clear, you can head towards a really, really annoying boss, which we're going to see right now. As you can probably tell by now, I actually died several times trying to fight against this boss. The biggest challenge of this boss is actually that not only do the enemies before him whittle your health down to a really small amount if you're not careful, but also you're inside a very confined space and you're forced to fight against two dogs. Now the first thing you want to do is to head up these stairs, give yourself a little bit more breathing room for a few seconds, and then take out the dogs as fast as you can. Usually after about 3 seconds, the Capra Demon will follow you up the stairs, but there's a nice, neat little space over here that he'll never be able to reach you on. Even his swords, as big range as they have, they won't be able to reach you that far. So when he tries to take a swing at you, eventually he won't be able to balance for that long. Now there are two attacks that you are going to have to look out for when you're facing him one-on-one. There's the big jumping attack, like that one, where he sends both of his swords down on you. Do not try to block that at all. That's going to drain all of your stamina and it'll leave you wide open to another attack if he decides to go for another swing. His regular swinging attacks, he could choose to follow the first one up with a second one. So don't make the mistake of thinking that that's a free hit. If he does bring both of his swords at the same time in one swinging direction, then he'll be left wide open for about a second where you're able to counterattack immediately. However, as cheap as this environment may be, one mistake you want to make sure is that never get yourself cornered. However, you can also use the stage to your advantage. As you can see, he'll follow you up the stairs. He'll follow you right up the stairs, and there'll be a small space that you can hide on where he's going to be caught off balance, and he'll fall. When he does, you'll be able to do the jumping attack that you did on the first boss in the Undead Asylum. That's going to do a lot of damage to him. So yeah, just learn how to dodge his attacks to make sure that you're completely safe to run, and start heading up the stairs. Once you're in the safe spot, wait for him to come up, and then eventually he'll follow you and be caught off balance. Now that he is, you're able to do the jumping attack on him. So you see there, right there, I did a lot of damage on him. And you can just do that again, go straight up, back up the stairs, and then repeat. He's a really frustrating boss at first, but once you figure out how to do this consistently, he's not a big deal at all. Now that the boss is done, you can get the key to the depths, which will allow you to continue on to the next stage of the game. However, make sure you do kill the guys earlier on, because these guys will just go right on in and start attacking. If you do get caught in a scenario like this, though, just try to find ways to make some breathing room and start running back. But now that you have the boss out of the way, you're free to head on to the next area, which is the depths.